Hi YouTube, it's Arwen from Tarot by Arwen coming to you from somewhat sunny New Mexico on a cold day. And I wanted to do a tarot lesson today. Thank you so much for everybody that's been keeping up with those and poking me to keep them going. These are the fours of tarot, and I wanted to talk a little bit about what fours are numerologically. They relate to the planets Mercury, Uranus, and Saturn. The card for fours in numerology is, of course, the Emperor, the fourth of the major arcana. This is a stable number. It's very practical. It's very ordered. Fours are very much about putting things in the right place. When you have negative fours, you have dullness, stinginess, inability to flex, to adapt. So generally fours are about security and home, or what makes community home for you. I wanted to use a couple of different decks like I like to do. I always start with the Rider-Waite because that's the system that I work with primarily. So all of these are Rider-Waite clone decks, and one of them is an unusual way out of print deck that I just got, and I thought it'd be fun to show it to you. And one of the things I want to talk about is some decks switch. Primarily the switch happens between swords and wands, fire and air. And this deck actually switches those, and I'll mention that, but I've assigned them to the deck, to the suit that their creator assigned them to. So I didn't say, well, that's just wands for me, and move it over. Well, I did, but then I moved them back because I felt like I was being kind of a jerk. So let's take a look at first the Four of Swords. Swords are the cards of the East. They're air. They're the mental cards. I see them as spring in terms of a season. The Four of Swords. This is very iconic for many people. It shows 3 swords on the wall and 1 sword on the tomb. Sometimes it shows the knight holding the tomb, or the person laying down, the effigy on the coffin. This is about rest, taking a time out. I often see it as a card of mental breaks, and we'll tell people it's meditation, spa day, just a brain break for yourself. You know, it's a time to chill out. From the gorgeous Chinese tarot, we have the Four of Swords. I love the colors in this deck. I love the 2 people carrying 2 swords creating the 4. They look like they are samurai warriors. They're Chinese, Arwen. They're not Japanese. I think samurai are Japanese. You'd think I'd know more. I'm going to turn off my computer monitor because it's kind of making me look more ghosty than normal. From my beloved Aquarian Tarot. This deck was bequeathed to me by a friend who died many years ago. So this is one deck that will never leave my possession until I bequeath it to somebody else. Very Rider-Waite. This is a David Palladini deck. It's a very, very similar, but still got the 3 swords and the 1 sword and the figure lying down. From the Circus, or the Le Grand Circus and Sideshow Tarot. It's a brand new one from US Games. We have the Fakir on his bed of swords. And here we just see the swords 1, 2, 3, 4. There's none behind him. Again, you get the meditation aspect from that card. Now, here's from the out-of-print, hard-to-find deck. It's the Pomo by Brian Williams, or the Postmodern Tarot. And he changed the suits. This is his gun suit. He associated guns with swords, but he put guns in fire. So typically this would be my wand card, but it's not because Brian put it in swords. Now, if you're familiar with it, this looks very much like the French Liberté. There's an image I have in my head, and that's what this makes me think of, is that French Liberty, or Liberté. So those are your swords in the fours. And again, this is time out. This is meditation, relaxation. Again, putting things in order mentally sometimes means taking a break. So that's why. And here's your scan. Now, let's go to the wands. Those are fire, south. The Rider-Waite. The canopy. This is about celebrations and coming together and creating new order. It's often about passages of life like weddings, engagements. I'll often see, I have a card, at least one deck where there's a maypole being woven in the background. So coming together, home and hearth, cornerstone of home. It can be a reminder to think about what your four walls are. You know, from the Chinese. Now, this is interesting. You see what he's doing, balancing 2 on 2? This is a feat of great agility. And I don't know that he's a monk, but he makes me think of a monk. So, but that is our energy on that wand. Here's the Aquarian. Again, very Rider-Waite. And I love his artwork. Palladini's artwork really appeals to me. The Legrand Tarot shows 2 elephants celebrating with one another. And I love that he incorporates the elephants here. One's handing a bouquet of flowers to the other. And then this is the one I would have assigned to air, but he put it with wands because wands are air for him. So again, this is the Pomo. 4 TVs. A very dolly there, don't you think? Dolly, dolly, dolly. So, remember 4, stability, 4s. And almost always in the tarot, there are 2 happy in the suit, or in the numbers, and 2 unhappy. Positive, negative, whatever you want to call it. Those 2 were the positive. Now we're going to move to the negative ones. 4 of Cups in the Rider-Waite system. Very, very traditional. Over focus on empty cups in front of you. Over focus on things you can't have, too far out of reach. Not seeing what's being given to you. Okay? This card can be about depression and wah-wah and stuff like that. I don't mean to say that depression is wah-wah. I suffer from depression. It sucks. True story. Other night, had an emotional meltdown. Cried, boo-hooed. Ugh, ugly. Depression sucks. You just keep fighting it. That's why I seek joy. It's my weapon. From the Chinese. Now that's kind of an unusual one, right? You don't immediately see the cups. You don't immediately see them until you look in the background. And they're actually... they're double cups, so there's one double in his hand, and 2, 3, 4 on the back. It looks like there's 2, 4, 6, 8, but they're not. So, again, focus on what he has in hand, but maybe not paying attention to what he could have. And that's kind of the depressive nature of this card. The Aquarian. Now this one I like, because if you don't pay attention, you're going to get clonked on the head. with the emotional gift coming your way. But look at the colors and the way the faces and the feeling around this. It's very wrapped up, very, I can't get out of this shit. Now, the contortionist for the Four of Cups just cracks me up, y'all. Elephant trunk reaching in with the cup, but he's over-focused on what's in front of him. He's not looking over there. He doesn't really care. You know, his eyes aren't even towards this. They're all towards what he can't have. Wah, wah, wah. Brian Williams Pomo, bottles. 4 bottles. Now, this is a rather different interpretation of it. Right? Because you see all the people and all the bottles. You don't really get the depression until you realize that nobody's really focused on anybody. Everybody's kind of focused on themselves, their own crap. And so that's why that makes that a really good 4 for me and the 4 of Cups. Last in our pursuit of 4s, we look at 4 of Coins, often called the card of the miser. Feet on the money, holding onto the money, balancing on its head. Nobody's getting that money. Mine. The Chinese, the same thing. It's all mine. It's tied to me. I'm tied to it. I go where it goes where I go. I can't get away from my money and my money needs. You hearing something in that, guys? The Aquarian 4 of Coins. Super similar to the Rider-Waite, right? Coins are so much a part of him, he doesn't even have hands. His hands are the money. The 4 of Coins is also a card I'll call the Jacob Marley and the Ebenezer Scrooge card. It's about what happens when we hold on too tightly and we don't see the bigger picture. We only see that little bit of money worry in front of us. From the Legrand Circus and Sideshow, our ticket taker. Again, he's holding on with an expression like that. Are you going to go up and give him your money? Yeah, I'm not. So, he's holding on to everything. He's not letting it go. The Pomo uses bills, as in dollar bills, pound bills, franc bills, whatever you like. Does he look happy with all that money around him and all that service? He doesn't. So, money isn't bringing him happiness, and that's kind of a theme of the 4 of Coins in the tarot. And it is the Emperor card in tarot, as I mentioned before. And the Emperor is also about home and community and family. And he sets rules and he takes care of things. And he's very much about structure. So when you see a 4, ask yourself, what structure am I looking at? What's the order in question here? Might be a good way to start diving into those 4s. I love hearing from you guys. It brings me great joy. So ask me questions, tell me what you're thinking, let me know what you think about this series, and we'll keep moving on. There's 78 cards in the deck, so I've got a few ahead of me. I'm Arwen of Tarot by Arwen, reminding you, seek joy, y'all. Pass it on.